Hope Channel, changing lives.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Real Talk here in the studios of Hope TV Ghana. My name is Evie, your usual host for the show every Wednesday in the studios of Hope TV Ghana. And we are also live on Facebook and YouTube, Hope TV Ghana. So you can join the conversation live by leaving your comments under the comment section. You can call a friend. You can literally have a watch party by streaming the show together. We are back again with another story, and a very interesting one, I might say. One that has a lot of people sharing their opinions. One that people are thinking the solution is so simple. I mean, why is she still there? Take her out, you know. That's the initial reaction we get. But as we go into the story and as we unfold the story paragraph by paragraph, you know that there are deeper things in there. And we are hoping, it's always our hope that at the end of every discussion, we are able to bring solutions. We are able to come up with ways that our writers can move forward with their problems and hopefully give them directions that they want to take or directions that will help them in the long run. And I always say that whenever you send your story to us and you need external help, there are resource persons that are willing to help you. So please do not feel depressed about it. Please do not feel shy about your problems. Come out, let's have the conversation, because mental health is very, very important. A lot of people are keeping quiet, and unfortunately, it doesn't usually end well for them. And so we have amazing panelists in the studio today, and I am going to introduce them shortly. But you know, the month May is a very special month. It's Mother's Day, it's Workers' Day, a lot of days for wonderful people. And I think Sunday is Mother's Day. And we at Hope TV are asking you to send a short video talking about how wonderful your mother is to us to our WhatsApp number. You know, a mother is not just someone who birthed you. A mother can be somebody who has taken care of you, an auntie who has been great to you, a friend, somebody in the office, just anybody that has shown you a motherly love. You can send a short video mentioning their name, what they mean to you, and a sweet message to us on our WhatsApp number. And then you never know, your message can be shown or read right here at Hope TV. So I am going to go ahead and introduce my guests to you. They are no strangers. You've seen them before. And you probably see them when it comes to certain specific stories, because we believe they have the expertise and the knowledge to help us with those stories. And it is our aim to bring you panelists who know what they're talking about. And so I'm going to go ahead and introduce the first person to you. He's the only gentleman in the studio in the midst of three women, and hopefully we are not going to overshadow him with our talking, but he's none other than Dr. Ando.
Hello.
I was come to mention that Josiah B. Ando, but I realized that. Let me keep it sweet and short.
All right.
Besides, you're a familiar face. I'm sure everybody knows your name.
I think so.
They are used to it. They don't need all the long names. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
How has your week been?
Oh, well, so far it's been good.
It's been good.
Exams are done.
Oh.
Scripts are being marked. And today, for instance, that's all I was doing.
But that's good because usually your Wednesdays are like crazy.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Yeah.
I should have been somewhere though.
I know. I know. So it's
All right.
when I hear you say, "Oh, it's been good," I'm like, "Eh."
Yeah, it's been
Because
okay.
you should have been somewhere. You and I both know you should have been. But God is good.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Mrs. Esther Opoku-Agyemang is not a strange face on this show at all. I mean, she's one of the people that I always want to call when it has to do with the young adolescents and mothers, women in general. I think she is very passionate about our agenda, and so I like to call her in to share her knowledge with us. And today she's in the studio with us in a beautiful red dress. Lady Red,
Thank you.
how are you doing?
Very well.
How is the week? I'm good.
All
I'm
right.
good. The week
God's grace is keeping us.
and the family
Very well.
and
I
the
was
girl,
pleased.
because she's whenever I talk to her, there's a voice I can hear her in the back.
I know, right?
She's all over the place. How is she?
She's doing very well.
We thank God.
Yes,
We thank
she
God.
is.
We thank God. Joining us all the way in the States virtually, Mrs. Diana Watson Ejay. How are you doing?
Great. Yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. How is the family? How is everybody back in the States?
Oh, by His grace, everybody's doing great.
We thank God. We thank God. I hope you're ready for the conversation.
I'm very ready.
With the laughter and the smile, I know you're very ready to have the conversation. And so we are going to go straight into the story and then read it for all of us to have an idea of what we are going to talk about. And we've titled it, My House Help and Husband Are Becoming Too Close. So she starts by, sometimes doing good can lead to unwanted troubles. Did I bring this upon myself? I have been facing a tough decision for a while now. I was in search of help, someone who can help me with some house chores and keeping an eye on my two little children when I'm busy with housework or work deadlines. My initial instinct was to go for an elderly woman, perhaps someone in their late 30s to early 40s. Unfortunately, all the people I got have children, and so they couldn't stay in with us at home. My mom called me one day and said she's found someone in our village, a young girl of 15 years who has lost both parents, rendering her homeless. None of her family wanted to keep her. I was very saddened by her plight and decided to enroll her in school while she helps me with the housework and the kids. Arrangements were made and she came to live with us. She was very timid at first, but with time, and I guess because of school, she's now a very bubbly, outspoken young lady. My worry is her growing closeness with my husband. I ignored it at first, thinking she was just happy about having a new father figure. But I've noticed her very suspicious behavior of rushing to shower and wear skimpy, revealing clothes when she hears the gate, indicating my husband is home from work. I have noticed how the two of them seem to share lots of laughter and inside jokes. What's even more upsetting is she stopped wearing underwear. You can see the outline of her breast in her tight clothes. Immediately I complained and reprimanded her. She'll have an attitude and sulk, not talking in the house for days. The next, okay. I fear she may be having an illicit affair with my husband. I can't do this anymore. I want to send her back. But my mother and husband are guilt-tripping me. They are telling me she'll be homeless and no one will take care of her if I do so. Her future will be over. But how can I continue to live like this with her? Am I being wicked by wanting to send her away? Am I being a bad Christian by refusing to continue to help her? No words or threats from me seems to have any impact on her. She's growing wings under my own roof, and I can't take that. I don't want my kids learning from her disrespectful behavior. What do I do? Should I send her back or keep her in the name of being a good Christian? You know, there's this quote that says, do good and good will come to you. But it's looking like she did good and what? Bad is coming to her.
Yeah, looks like.
It's crazy. Doctor, what's your general take on this story? And funny enough, it's alarming how people were not surprised with the story when it was posted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very usual. It's almost
Yeah.
as if, oh, this one,
Send her away.
We've seen it before.
Yeah, I mean, I
you know.
posted the story on my status,
Uh-huh.
and almost anybody who saw it would say, send her away. You know, and I'm like, well, no, it's not that simple. You know, I just laugh over the send her away, but it's not that simple. Well, my general take, actually, I find a career woman, obviously, who needs help. And this is a very common phenomenon today. If we go into 100 homes, about 70 to 80 of them are likely to be needing help, especially if we are talking about people whose children are still little.
Yes.
Those whose marriages are between 5 to 15 years, they will be nursing little children. And if both the woman and the man are working, they are likely to need help.
Yeah.
Because the woman may not be home by the 3:30, 4 p.m. when the kids will be back from school. Neither will the man be. So the question is, what happens? So in most homes, there's the need for help.
Yeah.
So I see this woman who needs that kind of help, tries to get it, and has gotten somebody that is not only coming there to help, but also coming there to be helped.
Yes.
Because this is an orphan.
Right.
I mean, from the way the story is, she's an orphan and will need a home.
Yep.
This time around, she's not just there as a house help. She's become a family member, even though there is no legal process of adoption or whatever. But, you know, in Africa, we have another form of family where what we call fosterage. So she's become like a foster member of the family.
Right.
And so it becomes quite dicey. And that's what makes it dicey. Now, I see somebody who is also battling with guilt of, what if I send her away? Will it be the Christian thing to do? Will it be, wouldn't I be a good Christian to say that, no, you should stay and all that? So a lot of things are in this story. So reading it for the first time, first I wasn't surprised because I know it is a normal occurrence. But then I also see some deeper things in this story which may not be the case of every home. And so this is a very peculiar case. And I think our sister really needs this help. Right. I believe that we would be able to give the best form of advice that will help her and the family.
That's our prayer. Thank you so much, Dr. Esther.
Yes.
I know immediately you got the story, you were not surprised. It's one of the first things you said.
Yes.
This is not surprising. And just as Doctor said, funny enough, just as Doctor said, one of the points you raised was the working woman and the help that she needs and the help that she'll go in for. And most often than not, the problems that come with it. So after your general take, I know you're a working mother. I know before you travel, that's usually your work. And so I'm sure you have first-hand experience when it comes to managing your home by yourself and choosing to do it by yourself. What is your take on that and the struggles that working women are going through when it comes to helping or managing their homes?
You know, when it comes to family life in this context, we have two groups of people. We have households that prefer not to have any external influence in the management of their affairs. And then we have those who don't mind. So, frankly speaking, it depends on the family. It depends on the wife and the husband and whatever they want. But the issue is that if you decide that you need help, you need to do a very good background check. And you need to know the risk involved in introducing an external person into your home. Because this is a total stranger, so to speak.
Yeah.
You have brought her in and she's influencing your family life, you know, your kids and so on and so forth. So I think that's something we should have a critical look at. Your decision to go in for the help. What kind of help do you need? Or what kind of help would you and your spouse agree to have? And then what is a kind of risk involved in bringing such a person into your home.
Right.
Yes. And what, of course, we can also talk about the benefits, because like Doc rightfully said, there's a person who came to you because she also needs help.
Right.
You know, and there's a lot of blessing in, you know, helping people in this regard. And so, in fact, aside the issues that Doc raised, I also had a few questions running through my head. I'm curious to know the kind of relationship the woman and her husband actually have. You know, because if you read the letter, you realize that she doesn't really have any hardcore evidence of any infidelity going on. It's suspicion.
Right.
And for you to suspect your husband, it means somehow when it comes to issues of you know, fidelity, you have
doubts.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's also the issue of dealing with adolescents. You brought in a certain age.
She was 15.
Yeah.
Yes, a typical adolescent.
Right.
But you didn't think through about the difficulties of being with a person of that, you know, stage, stage in life. You didn't think through. And so I'm even wondering what kind of preparations you made to help her in transiting from childhood to adulthood, because that's what she's going through now.
Right.
And whether you really mentally made up your mind to adapt and adjust to the caliber of person she is based on her age, you know. And then there's also the issue of am I doing good and so on and so forth. So frankly speaking, at first I thought, oh, this is just a normal story, so typical. But like you know, Doc said, as you read through, you realize that there are so many issues playing. You know.
Before I go to Diana, working with adolescents, the typical adolescence age, what are some of the things parents or people living with adolescents should expect? Is that when, you know, they are blossoming and they are getting breast and their bodies are forming? What are some of the typical behaviors that people in that age range put up? Maybe it will help you better understand them and not think, oh, yeah, Kolaboni, she wants to seduce my husband or something.
Sure. So adolescents have a lot of changes going on in their body and in their lives. They have biological changes, like you said, the breast burden and the hips widening and, you know, sperm production and so on and so forth in the case of males and so on and so forth. So those are the biological changes. And most of the time, these biological changes also bring emotional changes. Like, am I comfortable with my body? Am I overconfident, you know, with the body shape I'm coming up with? Oh, do I look attractive? Should I slim down? You know, but self-consciousness about body image and so on and so forth, especially with the females. And then we have emotional changes that are going on. Remember, this is a person who is transiting from childhood to adulthood. In their mind, they're already adults. And so they expect you to behave or treat them like adults. And most of the time, there's a conflict because to their parents, you are still a child. But at a point, you need to treat them as children because they are still under your care. They are still underage. And at a point, you should also, so it's up to you to discern when to treat the person as an adult. Make the person feel confident that I trust you as an adult. I think you are mature, so at a point I can reason with you as an adult. But when it comes to certain decisions, I think you are still a child, so you should. So it's a little dicey. And the unfortunate thing is that parents don't make a conscious effort to learn about that stage in life. And so some of them end up, you know, blowing things up.
And labeling the child.
Exactly. You know, and so on. And don't forget the hormonal changes. You know, the sex drive, the libido, and so on. And it's actually both ways. Most of the time when we are talking about these things, we concentrate on the men because theirs is so obvious. But the females also have, you know, these changes because they also have hormonal changes, estrogen levels, progesterone levels, you know, increasing and so on and so forth. So definitely they go through ovulation, they get aroused and so on and so forth. So they also become conscious. And remember, this is a stage where they need affirmation. Frankly speaking, adolescents need affirmation a lot. They need for you to make them feel good about themselves. And so if you have issues with them and you are always fighting with them and so on and so forth, you downplay their emotions.
Yeah.
And most of the time,
That's
I don't know
where
if I should talk
self-esteem.
before you go to America. Yeah, I just want to just
Just
to
a
add a
little,
little.
yeah.
You know, she talked about affirmation. You know, the need for every adolescent is acceptance. Now, it is one reason they fall into bad company all the time. Once they feel accepted, they are okay there. And I'm saying this because of the story.
Right.
And that brings this sense of self-awareness. I need to be aware of myself to be sure that I will be accepted by my circles. Okay, and so, I mean, she runs to go and bath, to do this. It is self-awareness. It is something that happens when they are getting to that age. Because things are coming.
Yeah.
And in this particular case, the girl has started this before even coming to that home.
Right.
So we need to be, but I just needed to bring that because I'm sure it will come up again in the conversation.
Right. Thank you both so much. I think there's a lot we've learned with this aspect that, funny enough, people were not paying attention to in the story. They just got to the end and they said, oh, let her go. Forgetting that there are so many things happening in there. Diane, I'm going to come to you. Obviously, I'll take your opinion on the story, your general opinion on the story. But then I would ask, aside these reasons that could be why the young girl has changed, as the woman is describing overnight, with the bubbliness and then the dressing and revealing clothes, what could be some of the suggested reasons why she has just changed? Is it that she wants the man to notice her? Is it something from school? Is she talking to people? And one of the questions that came to mind, where is she getting these clothes from? Who is buying it for her? Because the woman says she is not. Is it the chop money that she's putting some there? Or as she is lightly indicating that probably her husband is the one sponsoring these clothes, because it looks like she wears it for him. What is going on here? And then the bond between the husband and then the child, is it so innocent, or it is not innocent after all?
Okay, so when I read the story, the first thing that came to mind was I think this is purely based on suspicion, because the lady does not really have obviously from the story, she does not really have like a hardcore evidence to really pinpoint that, you know, I have actually seen them in this compromising situation, or I've seen them in this. But a lot of it has to do with suspicion. And, you know, sometimes you could assume things and assume wrongly. So that is my general take, that a lot of things is based on suspicion. So you can't just base on suspicion and then let her go. Another thing, Pastor did, Doc did say that, you know, the lady is a career woman. Yes. The question is, how much time does she even spend at home? What is the relationship between she and the husband? They probably don't even have time to even sit and chat like couples do. She's barely at home. So this little girl in the house is basically the wife now. She probably cooks, take care of the kids, and then, you know, during her downtime, they are sitting in the living room and then having a conversation. And what is the woman doing? Probably when she's back from work, she's all stacked up and then trying to catch up with things she couldn't finish at work. She's coming to do them at home. So another question is, how much time is she even spending with the husband? Now she's coming to a realization that, what is going on here? It looks like since this girl came, now she has developed this relationship with my husband that they are always together, and like, you know, they have their own inside jokes that they are making. And it's obvious because sometimes when you spend time with somebody for a while, you begin to develop all these cues that you have. And sometimes it could just purely be, you know, being though that she has nobody to take care of, and now she has been in a family that is more accepting to her. That could also be the reason why she has developed this good relationship. It could be that, you know what, these people are actually treating her like their own child. So for that reason, she felt very acceptable. And then she's developing this natural relationship she would have developed with maybe a sibling or maybe a dad. around. So I beg to differ here that I think that a lot of things is just based on suspicion here. I know you did mention of the clothing. It was another thing that struck me over there. Who is buying the clothes for her? I will have a big problem if it's the man that is shopping for her. Because a girl at 15 who does not work, how does she get money to shop for clothes that are so provocative or maybe revealing? So there is a question over there. Until we know clearly who is doing her shopping, that is when we can actually determine, okay, if it's the man that is doing her shopping, the man is intentionally buying her things, that would actually strike things. So there is more unanswered questions over there. Because like I said, a lot of things would have to play with who is shopping for her. And also, as a woman in the house, and Auntie did rightly say about the fact that she's a teenager. And this is a time with this whole self-awareness and all that, a lot of hormones are being developed. So at school and all that, she has friends now. Whatever school she's in, who are her circle of friends? Are her friends influencing how she's dressing? So that could also be the reason why she wants to look presentable, and then she wants to appear very good or nice all the time. But as a woman in the house, what kind of coaching are you doing to this teenager that is growing up? Because you call yourself a Christian, so you want to model her in such a way that, anybody who sees her would know that she's from your home and she's from a Christian home. So you training her the same way you're going to train your kids. So for that reason, if you see her appearance is not good, you have to step in as a mother figure, because the story really said like she's an orphan. So you have to step in as a mother figure and then help in grooming her, in making sure that whatever she's wearing is presentable, that she can wear anywhere. Not only to your husband, visitors could also come to the house who maybe if they are men, you don't want your daughter dressing provocative to visitors that come into the house. So as a mother will nurture a kid, that is the same thing she needs to do to her. So you have to model her and let her know that, you can't dress this way. And another question I have is, what is the relationship between she and the husband? To the extent that, you feel something is going on between a 15-year-old kid and then your husband. What is the relationship like? Is he somebody who is attracted to somebody the daughter's age? That's a question to be answered.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the woman, it's almost the fear of the unknown. She has her suspicions and she's afraid to ask, hey, what if it's true? Maybe she can't, as people suggest, if you find out, what are you going to do about it? You're not going to leave your marriage, you're going to stay in there. Is that you nodding that, oh, that's a behavior I accept? So it's almost as if when you are not sure and you're afraid to ask the man. Because under normal circumstance, Charlie, you and this girl, I'm not seeing it well. What's going on? It should come easy.
It sounds like, in the first place, the home has an issue. Now that's the way it sounds. It sounds like to me. There is already an issue in the home, because you see, she says that at the beginning. One thing I don't know from the story is how long this has been. I mean, when did she come? And at what point did the change take place?
Right.
Now let's assume she came in January, and by May you see a change. I tell you, it was not a change.
No, that's her.
That is who she is.
Yeah.
So that is, a lot of things are missing, honestly. But if I had this woman in front of me, I would ask, when did she come? When did the change begin? And how was the transition of the change? Gradual, abrupt, whatever. We need to know. But you see, the tone of her write-up seems to tell me there are some things shaking in the home where the trust levels are not that much.
Right.
And because of that, anything that looks like then that is it.
It is.
Once it looks like it, then that is it. But it may not be the case. But we are not also writing away the fact that it could be the case. Especially when some of them are circumstantial. But if, for example, I am with this girl in the house, and maybe I'm unable to picture what will be happening in the house when the man is at the gate, and then she rushes to go and take her bath and then put on something.
That
doesn't really seem to and it would definitely make someone suspicious.
Of course.
If it is consistent. But like I said, that may also be that there's a man coming. We are all women. There's a man coming.
Like
therefore,
you explain with the emotions.
Exactly,
and
because at that age, that is one thing that is coming up in their age.
And he's the only man in the house.
He's the only man in the house. So once there's a man coming, but you see the other side of it that makes it, not to be the case is that if there's a man in the house, then you should cover up well.
Right. Why are you?
But if the thing is revealing, then chances are that
wear underwear.
Yes. So chances are that she is intentionally doing it. If she's intentionally doing it, is she doing it with the man's consent? Or is she doing it because she wants to get his attention? Right. These are things that she probably doesn't know yet. Yes. I mean, our writer doesn't know yet. But these are things that we need to find out.
Yeah.
So it's something that, but you see, the point is that it happens a lot in homes. And because it happens a lot in homes where there's a house help and then the man is having an affair with the house help, or there's a garden boy and the woman is having an affair with the garden boy. This happens a lot, and that is probably why, like you said, the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Right.
I just find the story very dicey because it could be both ways. She could be worried for a legitimate reason,
exactly,
or she could be overthinking it,
exactly.
And is that thin line of, and I think that's why she's confused as to, should I let her go? What if I let her go and I realize it was innocent after all? I've just let an orphan go and I've ruined her life,
Yes, but a woman's instincts about these things most of the time are right.
Okay.
Doc,
that's very true.
Okay.
Women are very instinctive.
Most of the time.
So most of the time
they are right. So let's give the woman the benefit of the doubt that her suspicions are right. Mind you, this girl, let's go a little bit into the girl's background. She doesn't have parents. No relative is willing to take her in.
Right.
She's homeless.
Right.
She has had to survive on her own for a period of time before
the question
the
is
girl's
why?
mom came in. Exactly. The question is why? Well, you know something? I'll tell you. So, this is the first time I've had such overwhelming response about a story for Real Talk.
Wow.
Yes,
and we've had some really great conversations since
know,
we've been here.
I know, right?
That means
and I've had people share their experiences with me. Some of them I just had my suspicions about what was going on in their families, but because of the story, people opened up to me today. My phone has been because people wanted me to hammer on this issue based on experience. Now, an auntie of mine was sharing her experience with me, and apparently, like Doc was saying, the girl wasn't innocent.
Oh.
They knew her.
Oh.
But because they felt she would have a good life coming to live with this auntie
of mine. You mean this girl or that girl?
No, the house.
Your auntie, her auntie.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just like we are suspecting
here.
Right.
So in my auntie's case, the girl wasn't innocent. She pretended to be innocent.
Everybody pretends to be innocent.
Yeah. Until she got comfortable in the house. No, sometimes they come genuinely naive.
They don't know anything yet.
And then with city life and all that, they get exposed and then they pick up bad attitudes along the way. Yes, but this one, she already came,
Yeah, she was.
Knowing what's up.
Yeah.
And she pretended for a while. And when my auntie started complaining because this one was actually a relative of hers. And when she started complaining, other relatives who knew the girl was like, but this is no news. And so my auntie was like, why didn't you tell me? It's not that I wouldn't have taken her in, but probably I would have tried to use a different approach with her, you know. So that's the point I'm trying to make, that the girl's background, and mind you, there is, statistics show that by age 15 in Ghana here, by age 15, more than half the girls we have in Ghana here are already sexually exposed.
They're kidding.
Already. Not that they are exposed at age 15. No, they are already exposed by age 15.
What?
Do you know?
Even though legally they are supposed to start at 16.
You know, and most of them do it as a way of surviving. They think they have to sleep with older men and so on and so forth to survive. And here's the case, you are telling us the girl has been homeless for a while. How was she surviving? She probably had these attitudes before she even came into your house. So the man could be right.
And this thing of the intimate conversations and the inside joke, should it be acceptable from a married man and a foster child?
Fine, we don't know the content of the jokes and the intimate conversations, but
it reminds me of a joke when the madam of the house was making eggs, and instead of scrambled, she was making omelette, and the maid said, "Oh, where do you say you?"
Yes.
Like it was so deep. The woman said,
Like,
"Hey,
I know your husband more than
hey,
you.
madam, when did you come?"
all right. No, you know, it depends on the content. But the truth is that if I have a foster child, I should relate with that child as my own.
Right.
What it means is that we should be able to talk and we should be able to hold intimate conversations. When I say intimate conversations, she should be able to tell me what is up with her. And not the other way, not me opening up to her or whatever, you know. So I don't know the detail of whatever it is that they talk about. But then, whatever it is that they talk about, question is, can the woman join in? Is she able to join in as father, mother, and daughter holding a conversation? Because this girl is no longer, a baby for you to say, is she able to join in? What conversations has she had with her husband in the bedroom about this girl's attitude?
That's the part we are not.
That's why I said, I feel there are issues already in the home. And this girl is only coming to adapt, and this may not be the real issue.
Right.
Right. So, but then if the jokes are getting too much, because you definitely have limits.
Yeah, they are
so
boundaries.
he has to keep limits.
Right.
Because even if it is your daughter, you have limits.
Yeah.
And this person is a foster child who has come to live with you, and so you have limits. So definitely, sometimes even time. There are some times of the day that you don't have to be with this person. You should spend it with your wife. And so these may be the things that are fueling her suspicion. Much as we are only writing it off as possible suspicions, she has a case.
She does.
Because he may be fueling it.
That's my next question, but we have to go for a break, which is, does she have a cause to worry, and should she suspect her husband of such heinous acts? Because if it is true, this has moved on from, this is literally an authority and then a minor. This is a serious case. It's criminal in this case, and that will be.
If there's a time lapse, she might have crossed. I mean, if she came at 15 and maybe has been with them for about 3 years.
She keeps saying she's 15. She keeps saying she's 15.
Legal age for sex in Ghana is 16.
It's 16.
The woman keeps saying 15. So I'm just wondering if she's now 15 or she came at 15.
But how long did it take for the changes to start? We don't know.
Probably is within the year, so she's still 15.
All right.
Crazy. Anyway, we have to go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with the conversation. And I'll make sure I read some of your comments, because I can see there are a lot on our Facebook page. This is Real Talk. Please do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Where shall be the hiding place of men when the terror of the Lord rises to terrify the earth?
So men shall hide in the dust. So they shall enter the rocks and hide in the dust from before the terror of the Lord and from the glory of his majesty.
Make sure you don't miss the first letter or miss the last letter. In which text does Paul encourages believers to act unashamedly? Okay. So the text.
Romans chapter 1 verse 16 to 19.
Okay. Next riddle. What am I? I was appointed but wasn't estimated.
Jonah.
That is a wrong answer. -1. I swallowed completely.
Jonah's big fish.
That is Jonah's big fish.
The National Bible Bee is an initiative of Seed Spring Network and the Lifestyle Network in partnership with the Bible Society of Ghana and Hope Channel Ghana, and proudly supported by the Angels of Hope, the Advent Press, the Dimafo Herbal Clinic, and Heritage Cooperative Fund.
A mother's work never ends in a day, and that's the same way your work has never ended since you brought me to the world.
Yeah, Mommy, I love you so much for everything you've done for me, taking care of me from childhood up till now.
Thank you for making my world beautiful.
Thank you so much for the joy you've added to my life.
I love you, you are amazing. Happy Mother's Day, Mrs. Bennett Smouto.
And all mothers in the world, we love you.
This Sunday is Mother's Day, and to celebrate our mothers, Hope Channel is giving its viewers the opportunity to record the message to their mama and send to our WhatsApp number 0559-680068 or hashtag #HopeForMama on our social media pages, and your mama gets to hear your message from Hope Channel. Hope Channel, celebrating mothers.
Loving you is like food to my soul.
Big break. We are still in the studios of Hope TV Ghana, coming your way with Real Talk. I have been doing this with Pastor and Esther and Diana. And Diana will be coming to you shortly, but I'm reading some comments before I come to you. This one is from Nana Amasawa, who says, me, I won't talk Pim because watch her cry in that house. Mami Adjo says, sister, send her back quick, or your mother can have her and take care of her. By the way, how does she get those dresses? Who buys them for her? Once again, send her back if you are not comfortable. You can still help her from afar. You can also have a deep conversation with your husband and study his body language to confirm your fears. Helena Answer says, my dear, please kindly send her to your mom, rather for her to continue her schooling there. That will be the best, because this girl might cost you your marriage. And also try and talk to your husband about this issue. Who is buying her the skimpy clothes? Gifty is asking. Abigail Safo Kantanka says, send her at once because it's too late. A good Christian woman can see danger ahead. Protect your home. Hurry up before it's too late. Be a wise virgin, not a foolish virgin. Save your home. Send her away. In the process of sending her away, pray as well. Okay, Daniel Asian said, I think the advice here is more than enough. Look sharp and enjoy your marriage. Okay. And Matilda says, be like Abigail. Stop the fire before it destroys your home. Send her to where you picked her. And it's looking like a lot of people are saying, send her, send her, send her, send her. And it's crazy. Nana Owusu said, you think Satan won't have a way to defend himself when he's caught red-handed? My dear sister, the earlier you send her packing, the better. Now hear me. My wife's kid sister lives with us. She's about 20 years. And my wife would be leaving for school this summer. And so she'll be away for at least 2 months. Ordinarily, my wife's sister should remain with me in the house, but I have insisted her sister goes to stay with her parents until my wife comes back from school. I don't want Satan to be given evil options and thoughts when my wife is not around in the house. I am not saying this because I have feelings for this girl, but just being careful lest I fall into temptation. So my point is, send her packing ASAP before she begins to make babies with your husband. Then again, your husband doesn't seem to be in charge of his home since he's not since he's not seen to be okay, since he's not putting the girl in order, okay. As I was saying, my wife's sister dares not to wear any compromising dress in my presence, else she won't have it easy at all. If your husband is keen on protecting his home and nurturing godly children, I think he should be interested in what the girl wears and even how she wears it. He should be interested in training and nurturing the young girl as his own, unless of course what's dreaded has happened. So Diana, let's have a quick conversation. Our time is fast spent, but let's have a quick conversation about the maid trend. And it's very common now. Somebody will say with the millennials, you know, the young married couple who have a child, 2 children, usually under the age of 5, you see that they have the need for nannies, someone coming to stay in, a mother bringing someone from the village, a cousin from somewhere coming to stay in, because they need the help, because it's a double home income and everybody is going out and coming in. And sometimes they can take the children to school, but the children usually close before we do. And so there's a need for somebody to be home to receive the kids or even pick them up. But it's looking like the good thing is giving us problems, where you hear of the man sleeping with the girl being disrespectful, the girl stealing the madam's things, like all over the place. You hear all these things. Nice. With this trend, what is your opinion? Do you think it should be encouraged? Do you think we can do it better?
So I believe that the couple needs to sit and then do a lot of assessment. In the first place, you want to assess the nature of the woman's job, assess the nature of the man's job. Okay, even before the kids come in, that assessment needs to be done, because the kids should be a priority. Okay, we have kids now. What are we going to do? This is the nature of your job. Since we're having a kid coming in, at what age do we want to take the kid to a daycare? And where do we have to get a daycare? So when all that is put in together as a couple, you sit down and you do that assessment, you also want to make sure that the guy, your husband, is not the type that comes back from work. All he has to do is just to sit in the living room and flip channels. He needs to come and help you, because you're not getting anybody to, your husband is not playing his role as a man in the house. He is not doing nothing to help you. That is why you're bringing in somebody into the house. And it's the same man who is not helping that is going to cause a problem. So it is high time you bring that man to the table. He should take a role in helping. Who closes early? Whose job is closer to a daycare? What can we do? Is there any way we could keep the kid in a daycare? What time does the daycare close? Is it possible that I could pick the kid up on my when I'm coming back from work to the house? You know, all those assessments need to be done. So when you sit down as a couple and you put all those things together, there will be no need to go bring in anybody, because sometimes your husband might be okay. You might never think he might go ahead and do anything with anybody. But the moment somebody comes in, that is when, you know, all the skimpy dressing will start coming in. That is when, okay, you know, all the attitude and the behavior, it probably might not even be a teenager. It might be somebody a little bit older. That is when all these affairs will start coming in. And probably it might even be on the blind side. And then as women, in as much as it's good that, you know what, for me, I always be like, every woman should work if it's possible. But as much as possible, let's not put our jobs ahead of the kids that we have, because you're so much carried and glorified your job in such a way that the kid becomes the last priority on the list. So for that reason, that's the reason why the kid don't even, it's not factored in anything you're doing. You come back from work at 5 p.m., you get to the house, and you carried work from work to come and do at home.
Yeah.
So instead of you spending time with this little kiddo, you are still working. So nobody's spending time with a child.
That's true.
And then all the kid does is just to watch TV, you know. So because those priorities are not made, and we have kind of like glorified having maids in our house, so we feel that, oh, I have a house help who does this. And then we kind of use it as a status, something to brag about it among your peers, that, you know what, you have a maid in your house that's doing that. And that is why we are destroying our marriages, if we're bringing in all these people. And yes, so the same family in Ghana, should an opportunity come and then they travel to America or Europe, they will manage it. They know that maid system don't work here like that. So they will know how to manage their time. The woman will get a job, either work overnight and then come back and take care of the kid, whilst the man is also gone during the day. They will make it work. So why won't we do the same thing in Ghana and then keep our marriages? Or is it just because there are vulnerable people out there that we can bring into our home in the name of doing them a favor?
These are questions we can all ponder on. Esther, we just have, 9 minutes. But then I'll ask, we were asking if she has a cause to worry, and we said, yeah, it could be that she has a cause to worry. But why do you think she's not talking to her husband? Without that suspicion.
Yeah, because like I said, the husband is not playing any role.
I'm going to talk to him and then see what's... Why is she not talking to him?
That is what's puzzling. What's puzzling is the husband and the mother, you know, not agreeing with her that the girl should go.
Right.
It's really strange. And because if there's anyone who should side with her, who should understand her, I believe it's the mother.
Right.
The man could have, you know, another opinion because of other reasons. But the mother should be able to relate to what she's going through. You know, so there's a big question mark there. And, you know, there are so many loopholes, so many questions about the story that we can't answer.
Yeah.
But I think that's another critical area to look at. The husband and the mother and their behavior, because it's weird.
Esther, talk about this Christian thing of, I don't know what to do, I'm a good Christian. First of all, what do you, in your opinion, what do you think she should do?
Okay.
And should being a Christian play such an important role in her decision to whether send her or not? Because now sending her or not is not her own. She's thinking, oh, as a Christian. She hasn't come and say, for me, I want her to go, but because I want to be a good Christian, I want to keep her.
Okay. Her mother brought the girl.
Yeah.
My advice is that if you think the girl is a threat to your marriage and your home, follow your instincts. Let the girl go. That much I agree. Let the girl go. But in order not to get the girl wasted, because that's what you fear, that if she leaves your house, she will not get that protective environment again. Right. Let her go live with your mother. Because obviously your mother is also very worried about the girl.
Yeah.
Let her go live with your mother and help her from that distance. You can do that. Look, the story reminded me of Abraham and Sarah. When Sarah insisted that she wanted Hagar
to sleep with Abraham.
Gone.
Oh, when she got pregnant and said she should go.
When she wanted Hagar gone, God told Abraham to listen to the wife. In my opinion, one of the reasons why God asked him to listen to the wife was because of the wife's instincts. The wife knew certain things Abraham himself didn't even know about Hagar. Right. So if you think the girl is a threat, let her go. You can help her from a distance. If you still want to do good, you can still do good. Pay her fees as and when you want to, and so on and so forth. You can still go ahead and help her. But remove her from your home environment. And then please, it doesn't end there. In fact, it's like just, you know, trimming weed. You need to uproot the weed, not to make sure it doesn't grow again.
Yes.
Work on your marriage. Because if you don't work on it, it doesn't matter whether it's a house help or the next house help, or if your husband will cheat, he will cheat. You should know that.
Yeah.
Work on your marriage. Work on the issues that will prevent your husband from siding with you in disciplining a person who lives with you.
Yeah.
It's strange. You know, it's strange that your husband won't side with you anytime. Because I'm sure when a girl misbehaves, the husband sees that she's misbehaving towards my wife.
Yeah.
But what do you do? So if your husband cannot come to your aid and, you know, reprimand the girl for doing that, then you have issues with your husband.
Yeah.
So my advice is that get a neutral person to help you. If you and your husband cannot solve the matter on your own, get someone to help you, because obviously there's a problem with your marriage.
That's a big problem.
But I think for the sake of her children, I'm not really worried about a suspicion about the husband and them, but like I said, if a man will cheat, he will cheat. Maybe it's not only with the house help, or maybe the house help is doing it but with another person, not necessarily your husband. But I'm worried about the children's behavior. Let me put this in quickly. So an aunt of mine was also sharing her experience with me, and she said the house help was sleeping with her driver, my auntie's driver, and the house help was sleeping. And my auntie's son, who was a toddler at the time, was in the house and they would have sex in the boy's presence. That's bad. That's bad because the boy couldn't speak at the time, so they thought, oh, he wouldn't be able to say anything. Yeah. And then one day the boy put two words together, called the nanny's name, called the driver's name, and said something like Toto or something to mean, you know, pee. And the woman got the hint, and then she probed and she found out that was true. So for the sake of your children, if you think this lady is a threat to your family, let her go. But still do good. Help her. After you are doing it for God, you can still help her.
That's true. Dog.
Yeah, my thoughts are similar. You don't, if you know, a good Christian doesn't have to harbor all the people she helps in her home.
That's true.
You don't necessarily have to do that.
Yeah.
Priority, your family, your marriage. So that should be that should be her priority. If anybody is a threat to the marriage, that person should be out. Once somebody is a threat to your marriage, even if it is family, you know, I mean, somebody commented that even the wife's sister.
Yeah.
Once the person is a threat to your marriage, the person is out. Your priority should be your marriage. So once this girl is a threat to the marriage, then she definitely doesn't have a space in the home.
Yeah.
And of course, she's talked about the children. But it doesn't also mean that sending her away means you are cutting her off. You can still help from afar. It doesn't even have to be with your mother, but you can still help from afar. But please protect your marriage.
Protect your marriage. That's true. Diana, you have 30 seconds to share your final comments.
So my final thought is, you know, I side with what my panelists in the studio said. Yes, a lot of the things are based on suspicion, but my biggest thing here is that she needs to work on the relationship with her husband, because this should probably be an eye-opener to her and the husband that, you know what, do we really need this lady in the house? Can we sort our things out in such a way that, you know what, you can step in and do much better this time and then help me so that we probably don't need this girl in the house.
Yeah.
And that could even give you an opportunity to see what is my husband's reaction to this suggestion. Is he open to, you know what, helping me and then letting her go? Because you know what, if your husband is having an affair with this girl, she doesn't have to be in the house for the affair to continue. When she goes away, the man will still do it if he wants to do it. Yeah. So the girl does not necessarily have to be in the house for the affair to take place. It can take place anywhere because there are cell phones. They can still connect anywhere. So the most important thing is that get your husband on board to help you so that you don't need this girl. And like a Christian, if you feel bad about her plight, you could still support her even when she's not in the house. So if you still feel obliged to help her, you can still do it even when she's not in the house. But I would say get your husband involved so that he can help you manage your home to get rid of all these third parties that would bring problems to the house.
Thank you so much. One comment before we go. Mercy Ankoma says, what orientation, she said she has questions for the woman. What orientation did she give to the girl when she brought her home? Who buys her those skimpy clothes? Does she give the girl enough underwear regularly to avoid not wearing some at home? Has she confronted or discussed this with her husband about the girl's recent attitude and how she's uncomfortable with his closeness to her? Last but not least, what does she teach the girl the ways of the Lord and morality to be observed in her home? If she answers yes to all of the above, then she should be a woman of her own mind and send her away to wherever she brought her from. She owes no bad girl a promising future. She can either find someone new or just manage her home. With the stress, she can do the best she can. After all, no woman has ever and will ever be awarded the best wife or mother on record. Her husband should know that keeping the home is equally his responsibility, since they both contribute financially to the bills. Thank you so much. I think with the time that we have, we've done our best with the story, and I'm just grateful you guys could make it, and I'm always grateful you guys can make it. And thank you guys so much. I am always glad when you're in the studio because I can see that the conversation is in every field is covered. Every area is covered. Thank you guys so much. Diana, thank you so much all the way in the States. Esther, Doc, thank you so much. And to you at home, thank you also for always watching, opening your doors to us. And that is why we are telling you that you should send a short message for your mothers, just talking about how much you love them, and send it to our WhatsApp number. Personally, I would like to say Happy Mother's Day in advance to my own mother. I worry her a lot, but I know she loves me. She'll do anything for me.
And mine too, please add mine.
And your mother as well, and Esther's mother as well, Diana, everybody's mother.
My mother.
And your mother. And if my mother ever had a whiff that there's a young girl in my home, she herself will come and carry her away. And that is what mothers do for their children. And you know, there's some special women that are always watching this show. Mrs. Asante Mensah is one. She's an avid watcher. Nia Itamon's mother is like an avid watcher of Real Talk. Toka Theophilos' mother is also always watching. Thank you all so much, and Happy Mother's Day in advance to you. And then there's a birthday coming. I think one of our crew members, Ben, your birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday. And myself, my birthday is tomorrow.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. And the enjoyments are started. If you consider, I'm all happy. It started from Monday and it will end next week Friday. So we are having so much fun. It's always a blessing to have another year added to your age. So you are grateful. So if you are praying, whisper a prayer for me. Thank you so much. I'm hearing the crew members are saying, Diana, if you have a last message, you've been gone for too long. Any message for your Ghanaian family?
Yes. So to all my friends, my church, Prince Emmanuel, and like everybody, and to my church here, Woodbridge Ghanaian SDA Church, I send shout out to you, and all the mothers in the church. I want to say Happy Mother's Day, and to my mom Elsa Bedia, I want to say I love you so much and Happy Mother's Day to you.
See how Diana did it? That's how you should do your short video and send it to us on our WhatsApp number, and we will play it. Thank you guys so much for coming.
All right, thank you too.
Guys. Happy Mother's Day to you, Esther.
Oh, thank you.
So we'll be back same time next week with another exciting episode of Real Talk. So please enjoy the rest of the content on Hope TV, and see you same time next week.